Welcome to this edition of AARP Massachusetts Fraud Talk Tuesday. We are here on the second Tuesday of each month from 12 to 12:30, when we discuss different scams and how you can protect yourself and your family from becoming victims. Today, we are going to provide information that will underscore the importance of knowing how to spot a scam in this holiday season. My name is Fran Nace, a volunteer with AARP Massachusetts, and our presenter today is Teresa Chaklos, also a volunteer with AARP Massachusetts Speakers Bureau. You may have joined us today with questions already in mind. If you have, please put them on the Q&A at the bottom of the screen. Or if questions come up during the presentation, put them into the Q&A. This session is being recorded, and you will receive a copy of this recording to share with family and friends. At the end of the presentation, we will share a page with links to a number of resources. So let's get started with a quick poll. Check all that apply to you. Well, let's see the response. Okay, well, 12 out of 12 have made purchases online. I guess we're going into the 21st century, aren't we? Uh, Received emails, ordered something. Not many people use their debit card. Smart move. I talk to my kids and grandkids about scams and fraud. Good. Thank you so much for your input. So, Teresa, where do we start to keep ourselves and our families safe this holiday shopping season?
Well, friend, whether it's shopping online or in the store, the watchword is buyer beware. And that is even more so during the holiday season. Did you know that 3 out of 4 US consumers have experienced or been targeted by at least one form of fraud that can be tied to the holidays, including end of the year charitable donation requests, purchasing an item through an online ad, and receiving fake notifications about shipping issues. So today we're going to focus on 4 areas: safe online purchasing, payment method scams, shipping scams, and charitable giving scams. So let's start with online purchases. The typical shopping scam starts with a bogus website, a mobile app, or increasingly a social media ad. Scammers can purchase online ads that appear to be legitimate retailers, but instead connect to criminals looking to steal sensitive information and money. Clicking on online ads or links from emails and texts is fraught with risk. And there are several things you can do to protect yourself. First, don't just click on these links. Rather, type in the website address of the site you wish to visit into your browser directly. If the ad comes via an email, hover over the email address to see who the email is coming from and look closely at the spelling. So for an example, you might see an email supposedly coming from Target, but the email address has Target spelled with 2 T's, or some of the letters are reversed, or there's several letters added on. All of these are clear signs that it's fake. And remember, retailers will never contact you and request personal information like log on or information or passwords. And one reason that we can fall for a fake ad or offer is because we do what scammers call getting under the ether. That is, we're finding ourselves getting into sort of a heightened emotional state. So, for example, we get excited that we find a deal on a hard to find item and there's only a few of those items left, or we think the notification is coming from a trusted friend or social media account. We are not thinking logically, but emotionally. And it's a very powerful technique that's used with all types of scams, not just shopping. So another way people shop online is to do a search for the item or website they're looking for. And when you do a search, did you know that the first several entries that come up for the word, they usually have the word sponsor or ad next to it? Someone has paid to have those come up first. And generally, that's not the site you want to click on. You need to scroll down to find the actual website you're looking for. Some fake online stores are invented from scratch, but many mimic trusted retailers with familiar logos and slogans in a URL that's easily mistaken for the real thing. They offer popular items at a fraction of the usual cost and promise perks such as free shipping and overnight delivery, exploiting the premium that online shoppers put on price and speed. Some copycats do deliver merchandise, shoddy knockoffs worth less than even the discounted price as advertised as a once-in-a-lifetime deal. So more often you want to wait, you'll wait in vain for your purchase to arrive.
Now, Teresa, in addition to shoddy or non-existent merchandise, what other concerns are there when shopping online?
Well, your losses might not stop there. Scammers may seed phony sites, apps or links, and pop-up ads and email coupons with malware that affects your device and harvests personal information for use in identity theft. Not surprisingly, these frauds flourish during the holiday season and as well as major shopping events such as Amazon's Prime Day. Seasonal super sales bring an onslaught of these deceptive ads, phishing messages, and they look alike shopping sites. So make sure your virus protection software is up to date.
What about payment methods? Are there any warning signs to look out for?
Definitely. Credit cards are the safest way to make a purchase. Try not to use a debit card as it is directly tied to your bank account. Sellers who demand payment by wire transfer, money order, or gift cards are scammers. And don't pay with what they refer to as these peer-to-peer apps like Venmo and Zelle or Cash App. These sorts of apps were designed to send money to trusted friends and family and relatives, and they're not really for online purchases. These apps are also linked to your checking account. And then there are, I'm sorry.
And then there are the shipping scams. What can you tell us about those?
So criminals can target a shopper's shipping experience. Nearly a third of consumers have experienced a scam in which someone fraudulently used or claimed to be from the United States Postal Service, FedEx, or UPS. Consumers should connect directly with the retailer or shipping carrier and not click on a link from a text or email claiming to be that retailer. These bogus alerts usually want you to verify personal information, or as I mentioned before, the link provided can download malicious software onto your device.
If you're looking to purchase something online and you want to check out online review, Is there anything to watch out for?
Yes, so we've heard this term fake news in recent times, but another big problem in this whole age of misinformation is fake reviews, and it's one that can hit you right in the wallet. So positive comments on your favorite shopping site perhaps nudged you to buy a product you had your eye on, or only to find out that it was an inferior product. Deciding whether online reviews are legitimate can be tough. So you want to be suspicious of these over enthusiastic reviews that don't have any depth to them. Watch out for too many reviews that seem to state a few positive words like brilliant or amazing, but never really seem to say why the product is brilliant or amazing. And many of these gushy reviews are posted within a few hours or days of one another, which is also suspect. Be sure to read the reviews from professionals at reputable publications. And while exceptions exist, trusting critics from established newspapers and magazines with strict policies about conflicts of interest is safer than trusting social media influencers. And you can also check on the item or the company by putting the name into a search along with the word scam or fraud to see if anything's been reported.
I know many people make charitable donations at this time of year. Do you have any suggestions about this?
Sure. The end of the year fundraising campaigns sadly open the doors for scammers to line their own pockets. So if you donate to a charity this holiday season or anytime really, first check watchdogs like Charity Navigator, Charity Watch, and the Better Business Bureau's Wise Giving Alliance. And you can also rate an organization before you make the donation.
What are some of the general warning signs to watch out for?
Well, first, bargain basement prices. Internet security firm Norton says to be on guard if discounts exceed 55%. Also, shoddy website design or sloppy English. Real retailers take great care with their online presence. Third, limited or suspicious contact options. For example, there's only a fill-in contact form, or the customer service email is a Yahoo or a Gmail account instead of the corporate account. Fourth, URLs with extraneous words or characters. Most stores will only use their brand names in their web addresses. Unusual domains, for example, like .bargain, .app, or a foreign domain are signs to look out for. Especially you want to make sure it has .com or .net at the end. And last, sites that ask you to download software or enter personal information to access coupons or discount codes.
Teresa, can you do a quick recap of how to protect yourself?
Sure. So some of the tips from AARP's Fraud Watch Network include, first, using trusted sites rather than shopping with a search engine. Scammers can gain search results that will lead you astray. Second, comparison shop. Check prices from multiple retailers to help determine if a deal you've seen, it really is too good to be true. Third, research an unfamiliar product or brand. Search for its name with terms such as scam or complaint and in order to look for reviews. And fourth, another tip is that to check the phone numbers and addresses on store sites. Check that to make sure they're genuine so you can contact the seller in case of any problems. And last, carefully read delivery, exchange, refund, and privacy policies. If they're vague or non-existent, take your business elsewhere.
These are good reminders. But when you are in that excited, heightened emotional state, as you mentioned, what the scammers say, under the ether, and ready to get that great buy. Are there other tips?
Yes. So look twice at URLs and app names. Hold on, I just got to plug in my computer. URLs are, look at twice at URLs and app names. Misplaced or transposed letters are a scam giveaway, but they can be easy to miss. And then pay by credit card. Liability for fraudulent charges on credit cards is generally limited to $50, and some providers offer 100% purchase protection. Paying by debit card does not offer such safeguards. And two more things. Don't assume a retail website is safe because it's encrypted. Many scam sites use encryption, which is indicated by the little padlock icon or the HTTPS colon and the slashes in front of the URL to provide a false sense of security. And finally, don't provide more information than a retailer needs. That should be only your billing information and the shipping address.
Before you share the resources you mentioned, let's answer some questions. Dennis, can you read the questions?
We got one question that asks about is it better to use a credit card? And I think Teresa sort of answered that credit cards are probably the safest way of purchasing anything. Bank accounts, your debit card attached to your bank account isn't. Let me give you an example. I usually check my credit card statement a couple times a month to make sure there's no bogus things. I missed something on mine. A charge of $14.99 happened 3 different months. It was a reoccurring charge, and it was from Amazon. So I called the credit card company and I said, "This isn't mine." "Well, it's coming from a Amazon Prime account." I said, "I don't have a Prime account, just a regular one." And that they again said that sounds like a scam. So they took it off my bill, which was great. And they just issued me a new credit card. So yeah, the credit card is probably the safest way of purchasing anything online.
And you know what, Dennis, not only that, if you use your debit card, even if you are able to get your money back or something, it takes much longer to get your money back than it does if you use a credit card, because that's happened to me before when I tried using a debit card to buy something.
Well, that's true, because I called 2 days ago about this charge, and the following day checked my went online and checked my account, and all those it was credited with all those three charges. So it happens pretty much overnight sometimes.
Yeah.
The questions. Somebody had mentioned something about, we hear a lot about artificial intelligence and how that might play into the whole shopping scam. It can happen because you may be looking at an item online and it looks great, but that item may not be exactly as it exists. They can take artificial intelligence and they can manipulate pictures into anything they want. So you really need to be cautious. I've somebody asked me once about, can you give us some background about AI and what we should be careful about? And talking to the Fraud Watch helpline folks, they all said to me, it goes back to the same things that you should always do: verify, verify, verify before making any purchase. And as Teresa mentioned, go to a search engine and put the name of the object, the item that you're looking for, along with the word scam or fraud or complaint, and see what comes up. If there's been reported fraud on, say, a certain website, put the name of the website in there, or a certain vendor. If there's been fraud, you'll be surprised what comes up.
And Dennis, someone has a question. It's talking about can PayPal they be used instead of a credit card? And I believe PayPal is also one of those things that's tied to your bank account.
Yes, it is.
But PayPal is my experience, because we've used PayPal in a number of times. PayPal, we've had some problems, and they come across and they will take care of working with the seller if you have a problem. So I feel pretty confident using PayPal.
Okay. Yeah, but is it, I think, I was wondering if PayPal, you have the ability to tie it to a credit card and not necessarily your bank account. So do you think that's why it might be a little bit safer than, say, Venmo or Zelle?
Yeah, I would never use Venmo, Zelle, or Cash App when making a purchase. That was simply designed to send money between people that you know, friends and relatives. It was never designed to send money to vendors for purchases like that. Again, it's attached to your bank account, something I don't feel comfortable with.
And there's another question about, it says, is there a way to block fraudulent text messages? Getting a lot of text referencing a delivery problem with USPS from weird addresses. I get the same thing. I get like 3 or 4 a
Me too.
day. They're so annoying.
Yeah, I go on as I get these, I block them, but they're coming from a phone number, and how many billions of phone numbers are out there? You can block that phone number from sending in any other text messages, but they will just use another one, and it doesn't even have to be one that they own.
Comes from like a 5-digit number, and I have trouble blocking it myself. So I was thinking maybe of calling my phone provider to ask them what to do, because that spam folder in the text messages is getting kind of full.
True.
Yeah, that's true. But you're right, calling your service provider and asking them for advice too. I mean, they're on top
Right.
of this. They know what's going on, and they're taking steps to protect all of us. So yeah, that's another one. I'm going to take a minute here because we don't have any questions quite yet. Take a minute and share screen with you. Just
Now let's look at those resources.
yes, look at the resources. Hang on one second. Let me go here. Let me go here. Yeah, here's some resources. I've used this one for the last year now. United States Postal Service Informed Delivery. I signed up for it. It's free. I get an email every morning to tell me what's coming into my mailbox. I have a mailbox on the side of the street, so the chances of somebody walking by and stealing stuff are probably greater than if it's up on your next to your house. So I use Informed Delivery. It tells me what's coming in, and it gives me an option. If I didn't receive it, I can click on it and they can track it down. Teresa had mentioned if you plan on giving any kind of donation to some worthy cause this year, there are 3 websites: Charity Navigator, Charity Watch, and the Better Business Bureau's Wise Giving. You can go onto any one of these sites, and you're going to get a copy of this slide. And these are all linked, so you can click on any of these blue links, and it'll bring you right to the site. And these sites, once you get to there, if you put in the name of the charity, it will tell you. It'll bring up the charity and tell you, one, is it a viable charity? And of the money they take in, how much of it actually goes to their cause, and how much of it goes to their administrative operations. The third one here is identitytheft.gov, and it's a place where you can get to the contacts for the 3 credit bureaus. As Teresa mentioned, one of the things that happens with fraudulent sales is if somebody gets a hold of your personal information, it can lead to identity theft and then identity fraud. So you can do a couple things, as the next one says, how to freeze and how to freeze your credit, and you can also do a credit alert. The credit freeze, you have to go to all 3 credit bureaus, and you have to take a quick breath here, because when you request a credit freeze, so nobody can take out credit, it doesn't keep you from using your credit card, but no one can open up a new account, including yourself. But to do that, you have to to go to all three credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and you have to put your credit card number, your social security number in. That's why we gave you this link, so you can go to these sites and make sure you're going to that actual site. Another place to report fraud is the AARP Fraud Watch Network. You can go online and find information about the current frauds. And then you can also call the Fraud Watch Network helpline at 877-908-3360. If you think that if you want to check to see if something is fraudulent, or God forbid, if you have been victimized and you want to report it, they can help you work through what you should do next to stay safe moving forward. So you're going to be getting a copy of this slide as well as the recording. Let me stop sharing for a minute.
You know what, though? I'm old school. I go to the store and make my purchases most of the time. It's too much going on.
With COVID, it really changed our shopping behavior.
Yeah.
And once people got into that and not having to go out into the rain and the wind and the elements to do the purchases and, jostle with the crowds. A friend of mine used to say, I always went out during the holiday season just to enjoy the crowd. Not so much.
Yeah.
So I don't see any other questions. But I do encourage you, if you have any questions relative to if something is a fraud or want to report it, do call the Fraud Watch helpline. There's some very skilled national staff as well as well-trained volunteer staff who can help you maneuver as to what to do next. Is there a cost to freeze and unfreeze credit? Someone just dropped in. No, there isn't. There isn't. There used to be to unfreeze it years ago, but no, you can freeze it for nothing and you can take it off for nothing. Just make sure that when you freeze it, that you keep you have to log on, set a password. So you want to make sure you keep that handy and some of the key questions they ask for verification. So yeah, no, credit freeze and the credit alert simply says, with the credit alert, you only have to go to one of the credit bureaus to do this. And what it does is, if anyone looks at your credit or tries to open up something, you will be alerted. It will not stop them, but you will be alerted that something is going on. Where credit freeze, nobody can open up any kind of credit in your name. Again, like I said, including yourself, which means you'd have to go on and unfreeze it. I got a new laptop about 2 years ago at Best Buy, and the salesman said, "Oh, if you open up a Best Buy credit card, we can give you 10% off." And I said, "Can't do that because I have my credit frozen." No, you do not. And another question just came in that do you have to pay for a credit alert? No, both of those are free. They just the credit bureaus offer this as a service to protect yourselves. So with that note, any final thoughts, Teresa or Fran?
Nope. Just thanks so much, Dennis and Teresa, for all this helpful information. Next month, on December 12th, our topic is, what is the AARP Fraud Watch Network? We mention it in every Fraud Talk Tuesday. So in December, we'll walk through all the resources that are available to keep you and your family safe from fraud and scams. And thanks so much for joining us today.
Bye, everybody.